Okay, so here we go. Second game.
I forgot that actually Redbeard already chose Kommando Nob again.
Yeah. Can we? Will we see another comeback, or will we hear another comeback? That's the big question.
Hopefully we will see it. Okay.
Yeah, let's hope to. So I already like this monthly Rumble tournament, just because we have the option to go random.
Indeed. By the way, I need the score of Fear against Kvek. I believe it's 2-0, but
Yeah, here we go, and it's Kommando Nob versus Kommando Nob.
it's awesome. You actually don't see too many mirrors in the Dawn of War, since there are so many commanders and so many factions. But Kommando Nob mirror might actually get really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it's interesting to see how this very blue Kommando Nob fares versus this very colored Kommando Nob. I don't really see a color scheme on this Kommando. However, yeah, Siwal Frontier again. Last time this map was playing into the hands of Redbeard.
Indeed, that was his choice, and it is his choice again.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, going random in this tournament really gives you a little bit of an edge in the very early game, just because some factions are reliant on knowing what they are going to play against when purchasing the first units. Like Eldar don't want to have Banshees versus IG most of the time. So you can have a little bit of an edge over your enemy at the very first start of the game. On the other hand, you really have to be good at each hero versus in each matchup, so making this work is more difficult than I feel like most people think that it is. Okay, so early game, one of the shooter boy squads already lost some models for Redbeard. Meanwhile, one of the slugger boys for Toil already have retreated. Now this Kommando Nob is trying to get these shooter boys in combat, in melee combat, that is. Just to stop them from shooting. There are the slugger boys coming in again. Kommando Nob does a surprising amount of melee damage.
Yeah, indeed.
It's about 20 DPS, I think, which is basically almost the same amount of DPS that the Chaos Lord does. Okay, Kommando Nob goes down for Redbeard, however. Stun Bomb didn't save his ass this time. Toilailee's Kommando Nob still around. Might be interested in upgrading to the better combat kit to get some health back. It's a very nice upgrade. There's the the shooter boy leader, to giving them the detector icon over their heads, as you can see here, but it's a lie. And the Kommando Nob for Redbeard has been repurchased. So both players rocking 2 generators at this moment. No further note. Sluggers running in. This is gonna be really interesting to see this match, I think. War on the squads. War on this squad, so both players using their... And this Slugger Boy squad is in trouble, I think. Wow, getting around this pathing was really being in their hands. 12 HP. Yeah, get away. And there's the second Kommando Nob just deciding this engagement a little bit in the favor of Redbeard. Redbeard, however, is now in the position to recapture some points, especially this fully matured wreck point over here. On the other hand, he could decide to keep fighting. This is exactly what he does. Shooting these shooter boys, trying to camp a little bit in this cover over here. One of the shooter boys falls back. Storm boys on the way for Toilailee.
Oh, that's a really good choice in the mirror.
Yeah, both players have...
Usually the player who has more melee wins the entire game.
That's interesting, both players rocking the exact same builds, but Redbeard has invested some wreck into his Kommando Nob. so Toilailee is a little bit ahead and pumping out his jump troop. Stormboys being a very high DPS unit, and they have power melee, which will help them against the Kommando Nob himself, but not against anything else, basically. And here we see infiltrated sluggers harassing the Kommando Nob of Redbeard, who tries to capture under fire, which is not the best idea ever. He should throw his grenade and then retreat. There we go, grenade. Retreat. No, he dies again.
Oh,
To the slugger
also
boys.
there was a really nice stun bomb on Sluggers
Yeah, he got double knockback.
before he died. So
Yeah, the Kommando Nob got double knockback from the Slugger Boy specials, so it took the time to throw the stun bomb.
yeah.
And there's the first jump from the Storm Boys, forcing a full retreat on Redbeard's Shooter Boys. And now Toilailee can bash some power. The Kommando Nob is repurchased again for Redbeard.
Yeah, and I think it was the most sensible option here. Still, Redbeard is really far behind now again.
Yeah, he lost like, it's basically 2 times 250 rec just to repurchase the hero. The Slugger Boys are bleeding.
Oh, they don't want to go there.
No, they don't want to go there.
Or maybe they can actually they wiped one of the shooter squads, so
Oh, that's good. That's very nice.
it got a little bit more even right now. Still,
Storm was losing model.
he's still behind.
Yeah, Slugger Boys for Toilailee just kept keeping some stuff up. Both Kommando Nobs still unupgraded, but Toilailee's Kommando Nob is already level 2, so one big shooter for Redbeard's Shooter Boys. No big shooters for Toilailee's Shooter Boys.
Oh, I don't think those shooters actually want to fight that Kommando Nob who's already level 2. He's
That's a
already
stun bomb?
tossing a stun bomb, and it hits.
It hits, yes. This stun bomb radius is very small, as you see. Those 2 Shooter Boys have been hit, those 3 didn't. But however, if one of the models getting hit, the whole squad is affected.
Exactly. Now he realized he has to move behind cover with those shooters. And actually, this is a nice move by Redbeard, nearly taking down that Kommando Nob with his sluggers. Still,
yeah, he is taking a little bit faster since he didn't invest into a full power squad. But these tier 2 Storm Boys will really wreck his units.
yes, he'll have to keep, on the other hand, he has double shooters against a single shooter, so it still might go either way.
Yeah.
It's about how well he manages to keep those Storm Boys, ineffective.
Yeah, and it's about who uses the Kommando Nob's abilities better, basically.
Well, we have infiltrated sluggers,
yeah,
which
but
got
they get
spotted by the
spotted.
shooter Nob. Now they're going the other way.
I feel like we'll see a quick death threat for one of the players.
Might be so, maybe even for both.
And a special shooter, yeah, there's a death threat for Redbeard already. Special shooter for one of the K-Nobs, most likely, especially for Redbeards.
Well,
and
Toy is getting better combat kit, so
that's a good choice.
he's already, upgrading as soon as he gets to tier 2. On the other hand, Redbeard is pretty much already with a Slugger Nob in the field, and his death threat is nearly out. The Slugger Nob should be here any second for Redbeard. There it is.
There it is. And Toilailee is losing quite significantly on VPs.
Yes, on the other hand, he's actually bashing power.
Yeah, but now
And
this,
he was about to get stick bombers, but instead he opted to go for a tank buster to counter that death threat.
yeah, I think that's a
Well,
choice.
he pretty much destroyed the entire power node with only nodes standing, with no generators, so that's really good. Also a lot of experience for those sluggers.
Yeah, but Redbeard isn't really in the spot where he actually needs to repurchase the full power farm. He
True.
has all contested power points. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. No bad. But
Still, he's actually going to focus the power farm.
Big high
Toilailee already
shot,
has the
yes.
special shooter which he used again on those sluggers.
Yeah, Slugger Boys need to go now.
Death Dread is kept away.
Where's the Death Dread?
I mean, he's
Nob.
going against those Storm Boys, which are slowly crawling towards the Shooter Boy blob.
Yeah, but that's the Death Dread upgraded to the burners and bits, and this Death Dread does splash damage. So there's a nice single kill on one of the Storm Boys.
Yeah, so on the other hand, the Tank Busters are on the way.
Yeah, these Storm Boys are...
He doesn't really want to keep that Death Dread too much in front, unless he's going inside the base, and he probably will actually.
Yeah, he should really go for the Tank Busters.
And he does. He might actually kill them.
Yeah, no, he backs off.
It's not the best idea. That Death Dread will probably go down.
Most likely the Stormboy Nob does heavy melee. There's a Tank Buster Barrage, not quite hitting because the Death Dread was being
well, I still think that Death Dread is down.
Yeah, I think
just
so
a few more hits. The Stormboy Nob is actually doing somewhat decent damage to vehicle armor.
Yeah, and there it goes. Okay. So
Toilailee has Tank Busters in the field, which are probably going to be used as a capping squad from now on.
Oh, the Kommando Nob for Retribution went down again.
Yes. And it was near the power from those shooters.
Big high explosive shells there. Yeah, and now Toilailee is in a very comfortable position to capture back the map. This special shooter really put in the deeps on all these squishy units. And we have the improved rocket packs on one of the on the Stormboy squad. There's a stun bomb hitting the sluggers, but they are already in retreat. Tank Busters already half the way to level 2. Stormboys jumping the Shooter Boys will suppress them in turn.
Forcing them to retreat. Into the retreat.
Yeah, and it's a
now Retribution is getting a war truck as opposed to Toilailee, who's going to tier 3 right now.
Yeah, the war truck is a somewhat
bad choice, I would say, especially since there are already Tank Busters in the field and they can be infiltrated. Yes, there is detection in the field, but nice jump.
Big bomber boys, yes. Explosive shells.
They can detect infiltrated units, but you can pretty much go way around them. The infiltration used with the Kommando Nob is actually pretty long.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the problem with the composition of Rapid is that he doesn't have the fighting power to fight Toilailee head on, I feel like. Especially since his Kommando Nob is down. So getting this war truck not only provides him with a little bit of staying power, so he can reinforce in the field, but also providing him with a lot of mobility. But he needs to keep it alive.
On the other hand, look at Toilailee. I mean, he didn't even upgrade the Nob for his sluggers.
Yeah, keeping the slugger squad unupgraded just to go
They're nearly level 3. That's strange.
And there's the Tank Buster Barrage. Doing good damage on the slugger squad. Redbeard's certainly not out of this yet, but he needs to kill some squads. Toilailee is about to get some tier 3 purchase. There's a tank on the way, yes. This is bad news for Redbeard, he doesn't have any AV whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the Stormboys are basically uncountered. Stormboys is...
Well, Redbeard has a lot of resources, but... I mean, he doesn't really have an option to go to tier 3 now. Especially when he'll see that looted tank is already in the field. That will pretty much be obvious he cannot in any way go for tier 3. He needs AV and he needs AV really fast. He was trying to get to those tank busters with his slugger boys,
stun bomb on the sluggers. Nice play from Toil there. And the looted tank is on the field. Tank busters coming up for Redbeard. He didn't even see that war truck. I
think he's expecting a looted tank, or at least a war truck, coming out anytime soon. So, well, now he's okay. I think the Wardrake actually passed by the dead Kommando Nob.
Oh yeah, this could be, but there's still a very fast tank process for this.
He already infiltrated them, but
Yeah, tank process is doing some good damage. Losing a model. Losing 2 models.
Yep.
No retreat. He could have retreated them faster. Meanwhile, the sluggers are chasing the Kommando Nob, who almost went down.
By the way, Commissar Vocaloid just informed me that Mattis has won 2-0 against Virgo in round 2.
That's interesting. Okay,
Yep.
so Mathis will most likely be facing Codex, I feel, in the round 3, which is the
didn't he
quarterfinal.
play in the beginners tournament?
What?
Didn't Mattis play
No,
in the
no.
beginners tournament? No, okay.
He's definitely not a guy who should participate in the beginners tournament.
Yeah, if he's taking Virgo out, definitely.
So tank
those
process getting
sluggers.
some re-armor shots on the
Yeah,
tank.
I think now the tank is down.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we
tank
go.
is down. Good win for Redbeard. However, Toilailee is about to get some knobs on the field, and I feel like this, or he's going for looted tank, for a battle wagon, his signature
Whatever he does,
unit.
it's still giving him a lot of advantage. But I think he's saving for the knobs now. He actually has enough.
Yeah, I feel like he's rather saving for the battle wagon.
He might be. Yeah, he says there's literally no AV except for that tank buster squad.
Yeah, the tank buster squad can't stand their ground against the battle wagon. No chance.
Indeed. Even if you try, it takes a lot of effort to actually down the looted. I mean, yeah. Battle wagon. Okay, now Redbeard just said he cannot find a way back. GG. So I think he'll concede game any second now.
Yeah, so Toilailee using his hero to the best advantage, his hero pick. Just making the best out of random, I feel. Winning 2-0 over Redbeard. So
Yep, so
GG.
now Toilailee is advancing to the quarterfinals, which he will play against someone. Either Ben or Torpid, I think.